All right, today we're going to talk about the derivative as a function. So really not a lot of new information for this lesson, but a good review of derivatives in general. So to this point, we have viewed the derivative of a function as a value. Could be the slope of a tangent line, could be an instantaneous rate of change. But the derivative can also be looked at as a function. We input a function f of x, and the output is another function, which we call f prime or dy over dx. So find f prime of x if f of x is equal to 1 minus x divided by 2 plus x. This will be our basic quotient rule. So when we take our derivative, low, d high, derivative of 1 minus x is -1, minus high, d low, all over low squared. And if we simplify, we would get -2 minus x, distribute the negative through on the next term, -1 plus x, and the denominator I am not going to simplify, because if anything is going to cancel in the denominator, we'll need it in its factored form. And there's our derivative. A couple other ways that you could notate a derivative. F prime of x, y prime, dy over dx, df over dx, d over dx, f of x. So this one really means take the derivative with respect to x of the given function. And so there would be a function after it. Capital D f of x, d sub x f of x. Again, the derivative of the function f of x, the derivative with respect to x of the function f of x. The ones you'll see most often on the AP exam are the ones that I've underlined in blue. The difference between the fifth one here, d over dx, we haven't taken the derivative yet. The rest of these are saying the derivative is equal to, and then whatever's after the equal sign. A function is said to be differentiable at a if f prime of a exists. So if you can take the derivative, plug in a value of a, the function is then differentiable at a. It is differentiable on an open interval, say the interval a to b, or we could have infinities in there, if it is differentiable at every number in that interval. If f is differentiable at a, then f is continuous at a. So we want to be careful about this. This is just an if-then statement. It is not an if and only if. It's not a two-way. So we cannot say that if f is continuous, then it's differentiable. One possibility to prove that is the absolute value function. The absolute value is a continuous function. It's that V shape, but it's not differentiable at 0 because the derivative, as we approach from, as we approach that point, the vertex from the left is going to be a negative value. As we approach it from the right, that derivative is going to be positive. And so we have the two limits not being equal. So the derivative would not exist. So what other things could happen to make a function not differentiable? Well, like absolute value, it could have a corner, it could have a kink, it could come up, sometimes it's called a cusp. It could have a shape like this. That would be not differentiable specifically at this value. A function that is not continuous. So the step function like we looked at in, I believe it was 2.4 with the parking rates, that would be not differentiable. And then a function that has a vertical tangent line, for instance, if we think about the cube root of x, that's about as good as it's going to get. It would actually not be differentiable at 0. To this point, we've taken first derivatives and been pretty happy with that. However, if we assume that the derivative is a function that accepts a function as input and gives a function as output, we could take more than one derivative. So if we took the derivative of f prime, we get f double prime, or the second derivative of f. So if f of x is equal to x cubed minus x, find the second derivative. So we can find f prime of x using our rules for the power function and for sums and differences. The same rules apply when we take the second derivative. And so our second derivative of x cubed minus x would just be 6x. Acceleration is one of the most common second derivatives that we know. It is a rate of change in velocity. So we have acceleration, which is the derivative of velocity, or the second derivative of the position function. S of t is a very common way to denote the position of a particle. Because we can take a second derivative, we could also take a third derivative. And the derivative of acceleration, or the third derivative of the position function, is called the jerk function, or the jerk. One very real example of the jerk function, if you've ever ridden in a car with someone that is driving a stick shift and they kill it, that sudden motion forward as the car dies is a sudden change in acceleration, which would be defined as the jerk function. Right. Part of what you're going to do in your homework is match functions and derivatives. So we're going to graph y equals x squared, and then we're going to graph its derivative. So I'm going to graph the function in blue. I'll graph the derivative in red. So there's our function. The derivative is 2x. Now I'm graphing the derivative function. I am not graphing the tangent line. Just want to be clear about that. And so that would be the derivative. And if we take x cubed minus x, I'm just going to graph some specific values. Might need to do a couple others. So this function goes up, down, up, and through. Its derivative and again, if we wanted to look at some values, at 2, we'd be at 11. There's the derivative. All right, homework. Enjoy your MEA break, and I will see half of you back next Monday.